Greetings from a beer ferry. In our last segment, we discussed beers from south of the border. Today, we're going to be discussing Northern European lagers. And we've got a very scenic backdrop here of Fish Creek Falls in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Today, we're going to discuss value when it comes to beers. And we've chosen 3 Northern European lighter lagers. Our first one is Stella Artois from Belgium. Our second is Heineken from Holland. And our third is Carlsberg from Denmark. These beers were chosen because they all refresh, they all have 5% alcohol content, their taste is similar, and they come from a very specific region close to each other in Northern Europe. So the playing field is definitely leveled. We'll be evaluating these as far as volume and price and taste are concerned. Our first beer is Stella Artois from Belgium. A 12-pack of this comes in at about $15. Each can is 11.2 ounces per can, resulting in 333 milliliters per can. Let's crack one open and see how it pours. Since we've got pretty good light, that head is beautiful. It's maintaining, staying nice and light, holding up well. And as you can see, that color is a beautiful straw color. Let's give it a sniff. Really great French bread aromas in the nose. Let's give it a taste. Lots of Pilsner malt in this one. Definitely a winner for quenching a thirst on a hot summer day like it is today. Our next northern beer selection regarding value is Heineken Lager from Holland. It comes in a 12-ounce can or 354 milliliters, which is more than Stella. Let's pour one out and take a look at the color. A very generous, tightly beaded head that certainly sticks around. If you can see in the sun, that is a beautiful straw color. Let's give it a sniff. I have slight bread aromas, but not as much as the Stella. Let's give it a taste. Definitely a full-bodied lager, but I don't think it impresses quite as much as the Stella does. Our last competitor in the Northern European Lager Challenge is Carlsberg from Denmark. As you can see, it's a big beer, 500 milliliters or over 16 ounces a can. It's the cheapest of the 3 competitors, coming in at about $13.50 for a 12-pack. Let's pour it out, give it a sniff and a taste. Again, we've got some great light. And look at that beautiful foamy head and that beautiful deep golden color. That head is definitely staying up too. Let's give it a sniff. Again, like the other two beers, it's got that fresh French bread aroma. The aromas are almost indistinguishable between all three beers. Let's give it a taste. Crisp and clean. Definitely not watered down. This one is a beautiful beer. So that concludes our Northern European Lager Showdown. We sampled Stella Artois, Heineken, and Carlsberg. So, who's the clear winner here? All of these three beers had really impressive noses and tastes, and very, very similar. But if we're talking value here, we're talking volume. So, they're crushable. So that means Stella at 11.2 ounces a can, I'm sorry, you're crushable. Don't worry, we'll pack these out. The next runner-up is Heineken. It's 12 ounces, but it's not 16.6. So crushable, yes. So the winner of our Northern European Lager Showdown is Carlsberg Danish-style Pilsner beer. 16.6 ounces per can, $13.50 a 12-pack. This is an undisputed champion for summer drinking. From a beer fairy in Danish, Skål. And now it's time for a beer fairy tale. And lo, the beer fairy flew down unto them and slaked their thirst with many ales and lagers. And it was good. Wait a minute, that's not what I'm looking for. Hang on. Let's see here. Oh, okay, all right. Once upon a time in 1883, Professor Emil Christian Hansen at the Carlsberg Brewery developed the key to perfectly consistent beer production. He discovered that organisms are composed of different fungi and that yeast cultures can be cultivated. He isolated pure yeast cultures and changed the concept of brewing forever. The method of cultivating pure yeast is worth a fortune and could revolutionize the quality of Carlsberg's beer worldwide. But instead of keeping it a secret, brewery owner Jacob Christian Jacobson decided to give the trade secret away, sharing his breakthrough with brewmasters around the world. So hundreds of different yeast strains can now be isolated, and more consistent beer production can all be attributed to Jacobson and Hansen's gift to the local brewing industry. Later in 1909, the Danish chemist Dr. Sorensen, head of the Carlsberg Laboratory, developed the pH scale at the Carlsberg Lab. His pioneering research allowed the pH scale to become the standard by which we determine how a liquid will react and interact with living organisms. With these two scientific contributions from Carlsberg, the world's beer drinkers drank happily ever after. The end. Follow us on Instagram and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have any beers or breweries you would like us to review, please leave a comment below. And don't forget to check out our website at beerfairytales.com. From a beer fairy, Skål.